Caitlin Clark snags another honor. She's made the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Clark, who is just 22 years old, is the only professional women's basketball player on this.
At just 22 years old, basketball sensation Caitlin Clark shatters records, captivates millions, and secures a spot on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, turning what seems like a fairy tale into her everyday reality.
Clark was chosen for leading the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance in 8 years, while breaking the WNBA single-season assist record and earning Rookie of the Year honors. But wait, there's more. She also led the WNBA All-Star Game voting with more than 700,000 ballots and has been credited with an increase in league viewership and attendance.
At just 22 years old, basketball sensation Caitlin Clark shatters records, captivates millions, and secures a spot on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, turning what seems like a fairy tale into her everyday reality. Not everyone is thrilled about Caitlin Clark's rise to stardom. As her career soars, NBA legend A'ja Wilson seems to feel the pressure, with her attempts to stay relevant sparking criticism and whispers of jealousy within the WNBA. While some dismiss Wilson as overrated, Clark continues to make waves, recently earning a coveted spot on Forbes 30 under 30. As the only WNBA player featured this year, Clark's achievement highlights her impact beyond the court, proving she's not just playing the game, but redefining what it means to be a young athlete today.
Always knew A'ja Wilson was overrated. Eric, let me see your resume.
Let's dive into why Forbes couldn't ignore Caitlin Clark. Her freshman season wasn't just impressive, it was revolutionary. Clark shattered an incredible 62 records, rewriting history as if the record books were a personal challenge. But her impact didn't stop on the court. She became a fan magnet, driving viewership to soar 4 times higher than the league average. That's not just a personal victory for Clark, it's a massive win for the entire WNBA, proving her star power reaches far beyond the game.
I just come out here and try to, play basketball in a way that people love watching, in a way that is going to make my team successful, and the records and whatever, or the stats, that's just what...
The numbers are truly mind-blowing. Dr. Ryan Brewer, a sports economics expert, put it perfectly. The numbers are so big, they almost don't seem real. He's talking about Caitlin Clark's incredible impact on the WNBA. In 2024, TV viewership for women's basketball increased fourfold compared to 2023. But it doesn't stop there. Clark's total earnings for the year reached $1.1 million, the highest in the WNBA. The kicker? About 95% of that came from endorsements. Her Nike deal alone is worth $28 million over 8 years, which is 46 times her WNBA salary annually. What does all this mean for women's basketball? Simple. Clark isn't just playing the game, she's changing it. She's proving that women's sports can be big business, showing that fans will support, tune in, and pay for great athletes and exciting gameplay, not just drama.
Clark is the sole representative of the WNBA on the list. Forbes credited Clark with building viewership and bringing attention to the league during her record-setting.
Caitlin Clark's recognition on the Forbes list isn't just a personal triumph. It's a powerful message that women's basketball is here to stay. Played the right way, it's just as thrilling as any other sport, and Clark is at the forefront, breaking records with every game and leading the charge for the future of the game.
People that have showed up in the stadiums, from the viewership numbers to people really wanting to wear a WNBA player's jersey or buy their merch or whatever it is, or have their shoe. Just how it's evolved in such a short period of time, I think shows everyone, there is real opportunity.
You'd think Caitlin Clark's success would have the entire WNBA celebrating, but behind the scenes, things aren't exactly as they seem. So what's really going on in those locker rooms, and why does A'ja Wilson's name keep coming up? The reality is, while Clark is making history, some are feeling the pressure, and it looks like jealousy and competition may be fueling tensions among her peers.
The bees that are being dramatic about Caitlin Clark. That's all I see. They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they gotta be drama. Because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they gotta be drama because
When Caitlin Clark first entered the DOY NBA, the excitement was palpable. Fans couldn't wait to see her college magic translate to the pro court. But as Clark's star continued to rise, not everyone in the league shared the same enthusiasm. Some veteran players began to feel the pressure, and A'ja Wilson, in particular, has been making waves of her own, adding fuel to the growing tension behind the scenes.
You'll be Josh. Don't piss me off. Do not piss me off.
Let's dive into what's really going on. While Caitlin Clark has been busy breaking records, some WNBA veterans are starting to feel overshadowed. It's no longer just about the games. It's about endorsements, media attention, salary offers, and even speaking fees. And that's where things get really interesting, as the competition off the court intensifies, adding a new layer to the dynamic between rising stars and established players.
Clark, I'm sure you saw, just became the all-time scoring leader in women's college basketball. I'm curious, where would you rank her amongst all-time college players, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's tough because you got to win one. I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me...
Remember when news broke about Caitlin Clark's virtual speaking fee? It didn't take long for A'ja Wilson's camp to leak their own numbers. Suddenly, reports surfaced that Wilson charges $110,000 for virtual appearances, $10,000 more than Clark's reported fee. Coincidence? Fans don't think so. The timing and the difference in fees spark speculation that there's more than just a rivalry on the court.
a girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that. How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap.
Wilson's move didn't win her many fans, as social media lit up with people calling it a desperate attempt to stay relevant, with one fan even tweeting, "A'ja, honey, we see right through you." But it's not just about money. Some veterans fear that Caitlin Clark is taking more than just the spotlight. How is Clark handling it? By staying focused on her game and her team. She's not getting caught up in the drama, and fans appreciate her calm response, which only boosts her popularity, showing she's not just a great player, but a great teammate too. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing how the game is played. She's transforming the entire business of women's basketball. With every record she breaks and every fan she draws in, she's proving that women's sports can be big business, benefiting everyone in the league, even if some players are slow to realize it.
Talking about, she's charging $100K for speaking events, and fans is like, shredding? Since when? And you only doing this because...
As Caitlin Clark continues to shine, the divide with her critics grows. Industry insiders and fans are weighing in, and their opinions are doing more than just discussing basketball. They're influencing the future of women's sports.
A'ja Wilson's not 30.
Social media has been buzzing with reactions to A'ja Wilson's latest moves, and fans aren't impressed. Remember when both Wilson and Clark turned down offers from Unrivaled, the new 3-on-3 league? Clark's decision was based on self-care after a tough year, but Wilson's camp leaked that her offer was bigger than Clark's, despite less clear reasons. One fan summed it up perfectly. Nobody asked, "A'ja, you could have just said no and kept it moving."
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate, because that's how I get the best out of it.
It's not just random fans throwing shade. Basketball and sports journalists are weighing in too. They're pointing out how obvious A'ja Wilson's attempts to stay in the spotlight have become, likening it to a seasoned pro fumbling a basic play. Everyone can see what's happening, and it's not a good look. Despite the jealousy, Caitlin Clark isn't just focused on herself. She's even proposed paying opponents more when she plays, a bold idea that shows she recognizes her star power and wants to use it to elevate the entire league. While Wilson might be grabbing for headlines, Clark is quietly changing the game, and fans aren't just watching, they're cheering for a whole new era in women's basketball.
Idea of some players being jealous? Yes, that probably exists. Okay. And that is unfair. To me, yeah. Jealous? Sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot?
The WNBA is at a crossroads, and Caitlin Clark is holding the map as she leads the way for the league's future. While some veteran players are digging in their heels, the question remains, is the WNBA ready for the change Clark represents, or will growing pains hold it back? A generational shift is happening right before our eyes. Caitlin Clark isn't just a new player, she's a whole new kind of athlete, bringing fresh energy, a new style of play, and a massive fan following that's making the old guard take notice.
It is, but these women forever hating on CC, dog. It's looking real spooky out there for a bunch of these WNBA.
Here's where it gets interesting. While fans are going wild for Caitlin Clark, some veteran players are feeling the heat. It's not just jealousy. It's a changing of the guard happening faster than anyone expected. These vets have spent years working hard to pave the way for women's basketball, and now they're watching a rookie come in and change the game overnight. It's not an easy pill to swallow. Imagine being in the league for years, fighting for recognition, better pay, and more media coverage, then suddenly seeing a young phenom step in and get all of that, and more, in her first season. It's no wonder some players are struggling with it.
About leadership is like how you approach every single person is going to be completely different. And I think the thing that's helped me be successful throughout my career has been the relationships that I've been able to build with people. And every single person you have to approach differently because they come from a different background. They come from a different place. Somebody can be a little more tenderhearted. And for me, I probably want to be screamed at. Like, it's just everybody's a little bit different. So I think that's what's unique about leadership and being able to understand people, but that takes time and building relationships.
Now, let's dive into what this means for the league's future. Experts predict that the upcoming CBA negotiations could bring big changes to how players are paid.
Why?
Because Caitlin Clark is showing just how much one player can impact the league's bottom line. League officials are starting to realize that the old ways just won't work anymore. There's talk of a major overhaul of the WNBA's financial structures, all thanks to the Clark effect.
Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But
some experts are comparing Caitlin Clark to NBA and NFL stars who've used their marketability to secure better contracts and endorsements. Clark is doing the same for the WNBA, but it's not just about the money. She's bringing new attention to women's basketball. The WNBA is at a turning point. They can embrace this change and ride the wave Clark is creating, or resist it and risk falling behind.